So I think keeping good relationships was key as well.
Oh, yeah, comments and advice there. What advice would you give to anyone that would be interested in freelancing or being a contract designer?
What I've told people before is I think working in-house in a company first is really helpful to fully understand the whole process, the whole big idea, how everything works. I think it would be hard to jump into contract design without that knowledge, like understanding the schedule, how things are delivered, how information is delivered to the factories, what the timelines, prototyping. So I often tell people, like, if you get a chance to work in-house, I would recommend doing that before going out on your own, just so you can understand the big picture of the company. I think that helped me having interacted with overseas factories at my job in at Macy's was really helpful to understand like their viewpoint, how to communicate with them, and just being having understanding like what tech packs need to look like for the factory to understand them was key. So creating a great tech pack for your brand so they have limited changes on their end would be what they're looking for essentially too. So less work on the brand side. So yeah, I think mainly working in-house would be my biggest suggestion for people who are starting to think about contract.
I think you're absolutely right because you need to understand the industry so that you can then be a good partner with whomever your company you're working with.
For sure.
You were a contractor at Smartwool, but now you've transitioned into a position as a senior knitwear designer. So, what's exciting
Yes. Yeah.
about that? And just like, just for our audience, the whole Denver apparel outdoor market, it took a huge shift when VF Corp moved to Denver and so many opportunities there.
Oh, yeah, like, that was a game changer. You still have Lazumi,
Absolutely.
Overmeyer and Aspen, Spider and Boulder, Crimson Clover and Boulder. So there's still, like, several small companies, but VF moving to Denver was huge. North Face is a huge company, and then Smartwool was in Boulder and then moved to Denver as well, but, yeah, that's an awesome I've seen so many CSU students come through interning. I work with a lot of CSU alumni at Smartwool, so it's really awesome to see opportunities arise in Denver for that in the performance market. But yeah, I think I contracted for Smartwool for several years, so that was very helpful when this job position opened up. So they kind of knew my work, my aesthetic, my work habits and interaction. So I think that was helpful in me getting the job. And then I've really loved going back in house and focusing on one company versus multitasking with other things. And then just being in a stable salary job is great for me. And I have a young family. So that's been good. But yeah, I do miss like contract days where you could just work from the beach or something or go on vacation through your own timeline, but it's been great, and yeah, VF is just a really awesome opportunity for people in Denver.
Yeah. The Denver market is really an amazing market and lots of just job opportunities in apparel. And I think sometimes people don't realize that. Now, tell us a little bit about Smartwool because they're known for performance knitwear. And
I think most people know them for their socks, obviously. A lot of people don't even know that they have active apparel, outerwear, base layers, obviously our franchise category. But yeah, we're trying to change that, trying to get into more doors and grow the business in that in other categories beyond base layer and on mountain. And yeah, what excites me, I guess, in working in knitwear is there aren't a lot of performance knitwear brands out there. And so it's this untapped market, especially using merino wool, which is like the best fiber you could use for performance knitwear. So I that has been an awesome opportunity for me working there is to push myself and push innovation that way, constantly learning how to better that and improve performance knitwear in an untapped market, essentially.
And so how I mean, with performance, how does that differ from fashion products, purely fashion products versus performance products? What are some things that you have to consider as a designer?
Material mainly. Fashion products, you can use a lot of different options. And working for Smartwool, obviously, we want wool incorporated in there somehow. We've developed a lot of materials, woven materials, jerseys, blends. And so that's really cool to do as well. Like, we're not just taking off the shelf fabrics you can get anywhere. We're working on testing those. Lots of testing happens on materials, which is why we work so far ahead. And then same with yarns too. We work with several different yarn blends, yarn plate yarns to achieve the desired fit and the desired compression that we need. So we're constantly developing and working on that. And so it differs from other companies because we're creating these materials and creating these formulas to create the best product that we can to deliver on the best performance that we can.
So textile science is extremely
Yeah, I know. I was like, I wish I paid a little more attention in that class because it's really important. Yeah.
yeah, I agree that it's just important. I think across even fashion products, but performance wear so extremely important. So I'm glad you talked about the materials. How about the human factor? How does that play into performance apparel?
For instance, like body mapping, yeah. We do a lot of that with knitwear. We're doing more base layer fit or first layer where we're trying to adapt to the body in motion. And so with knits, you can really engineer anything, which is just amazing. So dependent on what machine you're using, but for instance, seamless, you can engineer mesh zones, creating a seam-free garment and having those breathability maximized in your highest sweat areas. And then you can also add stitches and extra yarns to add durability in zones that need it, like your elbows or your knees when you're doing activities like skiing or backpacking on your shoulders. So there's just unlimited ways where you can use stitches and yarns to maximize those performance benefits like breathability, temperature regulating, um, odor regulating. So it's pretty amazing what you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're using whole garment knit technology,
We're
or
not we're hoping to. It's, like, on the pipeline.
yeah.
We do currently use seamless and
Mhm.
then Shima machines, stole machines for flat knit. But, yeah, and that was really interesting to me too. I had not worked on seamless before Smartwool, so it's been a good learning experience for me and getting to see how those machines create the tubes, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is, it really is, and as you said, to be able to tailor a garment in different spots or areas to meet functionality needs for humans. Do you do a lot of wear testing and with people or fit
Yes, we have a whole wear testing team. So a lot of work goes into that before a product gets to market. And I think that's just a testament to our company values. We're not going to put something out there that gets a hole in it first day on the mountain or something. Like, we test literally everything, which is tough because if you don't make it, if it doesn't pass, then you gotta keep working on it and then push it off to the next season. So yeah, we're making sure everything is great before it gets to the consumer.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with high standards at
Yes,
all.
true, true.
Method, yeah,
Yeah.
which is great, which is great. Another thing I was gonna ask you about the design process, are you working with 3D technologies for, like, 3D modeling of your patterns and things like that? Because 'Cause we've had
Yes.
some guests and
Yeah.
partners that are talking about.
We do have a dedicated 3D designer on our team, and we use it a lot